Cape Town is a city of water. We need it for our communities, economy and ecosystem to survive and to thrive. Water is everywhere. It's in the atmosphere and in our clouds. Rain falls down to the earth, flows into rivers and slows down in wetlands and dams. Along with everyone in the mother city, I realized the importance of water during the drought in 2017 and 2018. I became conscious of how I used it and where the water in my taps was coming from. During that time, we realized that when the dams run dry, other water sources become very important. Claudia, as a freshwater professional, you have a whole different picture when you think of water in a landscape. How do you understand water?
It is all interconnected. And the one part that we often don't look at is groundwater because it's invisible, but it is still completely connected to all of Cape Town's springs, to all the rivers, to all the wetlands, and it forms a very important layer underneath our feet.
I remember when our dams started becoming empty and the official reality of day zero started sinking in.
I remember that too, and it's exactly that time where groundwater became a really important topic for us in Cape Town. We became really aware of it, and a lot of residents and businesses that could afford it were actually putting down boreholes in order to prepare for a scenario of having to use alternative water sources.
Zita and Dale are experts in geohydrology. They can demystify underground water for us. So Dale, what are you drilling into to access this groundwater?
We drill into aquifers, the saturated subsurface below the water table, where the formation yields usable quantities of groundwater. Now, where we're standing here, we're on the Cape Flats aquifer. It's a primary aquifer where water is stored in the pore spaces between the sand grains. Most of South Africa's aquifers are fractured rock aquifers or secondary aquifers, where the water is stored in and flows through fractures and fissures within the host rock.
The Cape Town aquifers all fall into a groundwater source area, and water source areas are our water factories where most of our rainfall falls and collects. They're made up of surface water source areas and groundwater source areas, and looking after both of those types is very important.
So it helps to think of the hydrological cycle, where you've got rainfall that falls on the land. Some trickles off and supports our rivers, some evaporate, but a percentage of that infiltrates into the soil, percolates down to the water table, where it recharges the aquifer.
Now that the drought is over, how has groundwater become more relevant to the city?
Previously, it supplied water to its residents primarily through the 6 big dams that are around Cape Town. And now it has made the decision to diversify its water sources, and one of the very important new sources of water is groundwater. A lot of people have added boreholes into their backyards and into the backs of their businesses, and because that infrastructure is now there, a lot of people are still using that groundwater.
As I understand it, our groundwater resource is not infinite. How do we know how much is available?
Unless we start measuring it and understanding something that's invisible, we are not going to have a handle on it. So that is a really important first step. If you're a resident and you've got a borehole that hasn't been registered yet, please do so according to the city bylaws.
If we use groundwater without understanding and measuring it, we run the risk of over-abstraction and can no longer have access to this critical resource in times of drought.
As WWF, we've become partners in a Table Mountain water source partnership, together with multiple partners that are like-minded and want to see good, solid groundwater management in Cape Town. One of these partners is AB InBev, that run the SAB Newlands Brewery, and they are 100% dependent on groundwater.
And by valuing sustainable groundwater management and funding this citizen science research for water stewardship, AB InBev are helping to ensure this precious resource stays available for both communities and businesses to thrive now and in the future. And if you want to know about sustainable groundwater use in your area, you can watch our practical guide video on how to measure your borehole water level over time.